Hello there and welcome. So if you happen to have watched my last project that I finished yesterday, I posted the video. I used a lot of coffee stained paper in that project. In fact, I used up all of this one. And so this morning when I woke up to get my first cup of coffee, my coffee machine said empty grounds first thing. So I decided today would be a good day to coffee stain some more paper. So since in the last video where I mentioned how I did it, I really kind of just told you the temperature of the oven and kind of basically how I did it. So today I wanted to do a lot more paper, and so I thought I would do an experiment to kind of see how much I could do and what temperature I could set the oven. When I did it before, I just used 2 cookie sheets, and with each had just 2 pieces of paper on it, and I did it at I think 225 for 10 minutes. So that worked out fine, but it took a little longer because I was only doing 4 pieces of paper at a time. So today I wanted to kind of just show you a little bit more of how I did it and what I came up with that worked well, and I could do a lot more in a shorter amount of time. So basically in just a couple of hours, I have done this whole pile of paper. So I like how it worked out this time. So what I did was I started out with, I wanted to do some graph paper, and this just comes in a regular pad like this. And I like this one because it's lined on one side and graph on the other. So I wanted to do that one. And then I had this old ledger paper that I didn't do last time, but I wanted to go ahead and try it this time to see how the color would come out. And then I really loved this elementary school, it's like pre-K through first grade, I think, of lined paper. So I wanted to use some of that again, and then the green ledger paper that I had used last time. So those are the 4 that I decided to do today. So basically all I did was I take my I like to use coffee. You can do tea, but we drink coffee, and so it's kind of a free thing because I'm using the empty grounds. I'm not making a fresh cup of coffee. So basically what I did was I just took a 1 liter measuring cup and dumped my grounds in there. You can kind of see they're sludgy on the bottom. And then I just filled this with hot water from my tap and let it steep for just a little bit. And then I pour it into a glass pan so that I can lay my papers in there. Now I just used a strainer like this when I put the coffee in. So there's kind of, you can see kind of, I don't know if you can or not, there's just kind of residue there that gets on the paper. I tried running it through like one of these kind of filters, and it was just taking too long. So I went ahead and just thought, well, I'll just wipe the paper off later. So I used a glass pan like that. And then for some of the papers, you really can only dip them really quick and then get them out of the coffee, or otherwise it just takes all of the lines away. So the only tip that I really have, I use 2 cookie sheets. My oven has 2 racks, and I did some experiments with temperature and how many pieces of paper I can put on a tray, and then also how long to leave it in. So what I came up with to be my favorite was to do 6 pieces of paper. So I'm not going to dip these because I've already turned my oven off, but you just quickly dip them and put them on the tray. And I did 3 and 3. And the only tip I have is why I wanted to show this is you want them to not overlap like this, because if that happens, you end up with a thicker layer in the middle, and those edges don't get dry in the amount of time that the rest of the paper does. So you just want to make sure you have them separate. Even if they ride up on the edge of the pan like that, that's okay, because they're going to be really curly and a mess when they come out of the oven anyway. So you just stack 6 in there, and I ended up doing a 350-degree oven with the 6 pieces for 10 minutes. And with the 2 pans, so basically I would fill 1 pan, put it on the top rack, turn the 10-minute timer on, go put the other, do the other pan, put it in the bottom rack, and then when the 10-minute timer goes off, take the top rack away, take the top sheet and redo that sheet with new ones, and then put it back in, set the timer again, take the bottom ones out. You get that rhythm going and it all works out. Everything's in there and dry. So when they come out of the oven, they look like this. This pan. So they started out, I want to show the comparison. Where'd my... So this one was my original. And this one actually, I was surprised it didn't take on as much coffee as I thought it would. You can only in this light see a slight difference. Some of them took on more coffee than others. And they do get, I don't know if you can see that, they do get like a little dirty residual from the grounds being in that pan. So all I do in that case is take a paper towel and then just kind of wipe that off. And it's there's not much, but it feels gritty, so you want to kind of wipe that off. And then, so that's kind of how that one looked. This one you can kind of see the coffee in there a little bit more. And I like when it does this, where it kind of puddles a little bit and leaves kind of an aged watermark. So these haven't been wiped down or anything yet. And then, like this is, I really like how this one comes out. This paper's a little thicker, but you can kind of see how, you know, it just kind of comes off. So you want to wipe that off first. So once you've taken your stack of your papers that look like this one you can kind of really see it also. You're going to wipe them down with the paper towel and then just iron them. I do my iron setting on the hottest setting, and I had one of each here. So I just do it on the hottest setting and then iron them out. So these 4 have been cleaned and ironed. And then when you're finished with your whole stack ironing, you can just maybe set a heavy box on top, or not. You can just leave them like that. But if you want them to be more flat, then you can put heavy books on top or a box or something. And that's it. So it's not hard. It just takes, you know, like I said, it took me probably 2 hours to do that whole pile of paper. And now I just need to iron them, and now I'm well stocked for my next project, which I'm really anxious to get started on. So I really like doing that project, the stacked envelope project. And so I'm hoping that when I do the next one, I'll come up with some new ideas. But first things first, I need to go work on those resin pendants that I had started. I also have a video on my playlist there for jewelry. So I'm working on some hearts in progress. So I'm going to get to working on that. So have a great rest of your day and go make something. Bye.